All right. As we approach that 2 minutes, feel free to utilize that chat function whenever you have a question for Mr. Becker or myself. You'll see that chat function right at the bottom of your screen there. You're welcome to raise a hand. We want this to be as interactive and informative as possible. So let's just go ahead and test out everyone's chat abilities here. Where are we joining us from? I'd love to know. Is it US, Canada, Mexico, China, India, anywhere across the world? I see New Jersey coming in. Thank you, Cindy. India, Minnesota. I just got back from Minnesota. It was freezing cold up there. We've got New York, Georgia, Texas, Vermont. We got the whole US covered here. Another Texas,
Nice.
Canada. Nice. Drayton Valley,
Canada's
Alberta.
representing.
Yeah. Michigan, California. Very nice, very nice. All right. Well, welcome everyone that's joining all across the United States and the world um, to our kickoff of our AI Search webinar series for 2026. We are privileged to have Mr. Bill Becker here to present HR in the age of AI, closing the AI skills gaps. Just a quick little bit about us, who we are here at Tech Skills. Our mission is to provide high quality training, bridges the gap between current skill sets that we see in the industry, and then what the industry is now demanding in this new age of AI and the digital revolution. We offer this comprehensive suite of instructor led courses, hands on labs, personalized learning paths. And what really sets us apart is we listen to the pain points of our customers. We can design a flexible and fully customizable program for any of our customers' needs. It's not a one-stop shop, canned approach. We like to make sure that we are, fully representative of what our customers are looking for. Just a couple of little quick bits about our offerings, and then I'll let you get into the meat of our broadcast today. Just what we offer. Obviously, we have a full suite of Microsoft products, AI products, including all of our AI search job role based and technical track courses, cybersecurity and networking courses. We have Cisco courses. We have a myriad of courses across our website. Feel free to check us out at techskills.com. And you'll see a couple of different unique offerings there, including our membership options. Four different levels here. The goal of this is to save money. We're not uh, ignorant to the fact that we see that budgets are tighter across the board here. We want to be able to fit into people's budgets where we can. So these memberships are designed to save you money and save you time, reducing out of office costs. So we offer a free trial, which is a week's sneak peek at our exclusive content and benefits you gain as a member. We have pro and premier levels. Basically, what the difference is, different discounts at different tiered rates here. You get a 25% discount off your first course and then 15% off all subsequent courses with our premier level, just 15% across the board on pro level. And we have an enterprise level as well for those of you who are searching for a solution that takes care of an entire organization. Unlimited training. That is exactly what it sounds like. We have unlimited cybersecurity and Microsoft training, that it's a one-time annual fee. You get access to a huge catalog of either cybersecurity or Microsoft courses, modules, labs, digital resources, and again, just a one-time fee. It's about the price of one course. So if you're planning on taking one course, it's already paid for itself. Again, feel free to check us out at techskills.com for more information on those. This is something that I think is really cool that we've worked with AI Certs on. We've actually bundled some training options here. So, it's a pretty big library of courses. We've kind of tried to break it down into a lot of foundational knowledge, plus some very role specific knowledge. These 8 courses that you see on the screen here, or 8 bundles that you see on the screen here, just a representative. There's a few more on our site here as well. But basically, you're getting a full gamut of, like I said, foundational and job specific instruction. So very cool offering that we have there with bundled AI search training. And now you see that handsome man there in the left-hand corner is Mr. Bill Becker. Bill here is the Senior Director of Business Development for AI Certs. He's been in the AI game for a long time. He is a writer and speaker about careers and the author of 2 books, not one, but 2. The Job Nobody Dreams of, Inside the Greatest Careers You've Never Heard of, and Create Your Own Job, an innovative strategy for job applicants. I'm gonna have to go to Amazon and grab myself a copy of those books. Maybe I can get them signed. Who knows? But we have Mr. Bill Becker here to deliver HR in the age of AI, closing those AI skills gaps. And none of you guys paid to be here to see me, so I will turn it over to Mr. Becker, and away we go.
All right, thanks, Lee. Let me share my screen here. So I appreciate the chance to talk to everyone today. Just a heads up, I don't normally sound like this. Since Sunday, my voice has been trashed. I actually went and saw a doctor on Tuesday, and he goes, "I got nothing." And then he leans in, and he goes, "What do you think it is?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm not the one with $400,000 worth of student loan debt. Maybe you can figure it out." But I am here. I'm excited to talk to you guys. Tech Skills, one of my all-time favorite partners. And a lot of times I'll start these webinars out and just go, AI, 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 AI. Are you sick of it yet? Spoiler alert, some days I get tired of it. But I told my wife recently, I go, you literally can't go 5 minutes and not hear those two letters. And then she laughed and I laughed and the microwave laughed. And it's like, wait, what? Seriously, I don't know if you guys have ever, you when I rebooted my router and when you go on your phone to look for your Wi-Fi signal, you see your neighbor's signals, and it's like, why does my microwave have a hotspot? I don't. The whole point of the nonsense is that AI is everywhere. It is whether we want to hear it or not. It's out there. And so I'm talking today about the noise and what's real and how people in HR or other team leaders can, embrace this because there are good things about it. So today we're going to talk about how AI is redefining, reshaping job roles, the misconceptions. Then we'll talk about, there is a skills gap and how AI certs and tech skills can actually make you a hero. One of the things that they talk about too is like if you think about this, and you can read this slide I put up here where I share the Bill Becker version. But what the tech people won't always tell you is that if all companies embraced AI, then where's the competitive advantage? Spoiler alert, it's the H in HR. And so humans still have a big place in the day of AI. And that's a lot of what I'm going to be talking about today. So AI is obviously it's reshaping what's going on in the workforce. One of the things I want to make sure everyone understands is, and for those of you that are in HR, you have AI anxiety. Your workforce absolutely has AI anxiety. It's like, am I going to lose my job? So all these headlines you see 10,000 people, 19,000 people being whacked because of AI. Amazon yesterday announced 16,000 people. Those are lies. I think most people understand that. The layoffs are real, but the lie is being attributed to AI. AI cannot replace cities worth of employees today. Those things are either appeasing Wall Street or they're shipping them overseas. AI is coming for tasks, and that's a good thing, right? Because if you can free up, an individual can free up 2, 3, 4 hours a week, you can become a much more productive employee, a better employee, and use your institutional knowledge to become more valuable. Now, jobs are evolving. You're looking at, going for task based. If you can get rid of those mundane tasks that, take several hours a week, then you go into more of a skill based role. Also, for the human resource people out there too, what's going to happen is the need for soft skills is greater than it's ever been because people are going to have to be able to explain what AI figured out and turn that into action items. And then, of course, there's going to be, just like in any technology, there's new job creation going on. The biggest thing is where it's a hybrid of people that are, working with AI and then explaining what AI came up with and sharing that with management. So, one thing, not saying that jobs aren't being displaced. Jobs are being displaced all the time, right? But it's not happening overnight. Think about, grocery store checkouts, for years that, all these self-checkouts are popping up, but you can still actually have a human being check you out at the grocery store. If you visit almost any website, at some point, a chat agent will pop up, to answer some of the frequently asked questions. But you can still talk to a live human. Same thing if you're calling up, somebody on the phone. You might have to press zero 60 or 70 times, but ultimately, there's still humans that you can talk to. And in manufacturing, I mean, robotics have been around for a while, and it will continue to create places where humans are no longer needed. But again, I want to talk about the hype. All these things you see out there about these human-looking robots, that's not really real. That's actually AI. But manufacturing was kind of going away anyway, right? So there are going to be more robots, but robots in factories, not robots doing human things. And then retail operations, I mentioned already the self-checkout, but inventory control and all that. Back in the day, I worked in a grocery store and we actually had a pricing gun, a little sticker we put on cans. Then you go around, you have to write down orders of what you needed to, stock the shelves. All that's becoming automated, and that's a good thing. So again, it's freeing up these mundane tasks so you can focus on what's more important. Now, things that are being created, and what I mentioned earlier about these human AI hybrid roles, business strategists that are people looking around and say, hey, all right, this is the new data that we're getting from ChatGPT or other AI tools. They still have to take a human eye and look at that and help design strategies. So again, AI is not replacing complete departments. It's not replacing all these. It is strategically providing opportunities for people to be better at their job, have more job satisfaction, and be more productive. You're going to see a lot more product managers out there that specialize using AI. And of course, I think, uh, marketers have already been using AI, especially on websites that, the, the famous algorithm, right? You click on, or you even speak. There's like, oh, I'm thinking about buying a cable machine for my home gym. That night, I'm going to see ads on Instagram about all these cable attachments and everything. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but those are things that are happening. Now, the big thing where I talked about where jobs are being transformed, in HR, you guys may dealt with this a little bit already. If you're out there putting up jobs, you're using the LMSs and those job posting software has built-in AI to help look for keywords and how to filter out things. Marketers have been using it for years already, know how to personalize messages. One of the cool things, I come from a family of educators, and so I've seen where now teachers can use adaptive learning and create custom learning paths for their students. It's not replacing teachers, it's just allowing teachers to become better at their jobs and making much more productive learning environments for students. And then financial analysts have been using this for years, right? Manual reporting, boring, and they can start looking for trends. And so I think everyone understands that instead of wiping out jobs, jobs are actually being transformed with AI. And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about today and how you can take advantage of that. So, all this to say that there is a big need for skilling and upskilling. The thing about, AI is less likely to come for your job than someone coming for your job that knows how to use AI. And so you have to think about, how are we going to do this? I come from, I got started in the training business in the IT training world. And so when I talk to traditional IT training companies, I go, remember when you sold 5-day SQL classes and you made bank? They go, oh yeah, the good old days. Maybe 1% of the people in the world even heard of SQL. The entire world is aware of AI. You have this big light out there. And so again, that's where the anxiety comes from. Um, and the other thing too is, this is not a one-off. For those of you that are old enough to remember the year 2000 bug nonsense, you had a 2-year push, and then everybody moved on to something else. This will be continuous. You're going to adopt AI, and then as you go on, you're going to adapt it. And so um, managers, HR directors, that's one of the most important takeaways to understand about having AI come into your company. And again, everybody understands the spotlight on this, right? Workforce, they have anxiety. How's this, is this going to, am I training my replacement? Am I training a machine to replace me? No. HR, because training is such a huge, component of AI adoption, they want to make sure that they aren't making a mistake. And then the people above them have anxiety too, because they're all saying, like, what are we going to do about this AI thing? IT, what are we going to do about this? HR, what are we going to do about this? So this really is a chance for, everyone that's listening today, whether it's a manager or, you're in HR, that you can become a hero, because everyone's looking for answers and everyone's looking for peace of mind. And that's really what this is all about. Everybody knows that they're going to have to do something with AI. They need to adapt it, but they want to make sure, everyone's concerned about making a mistake, right? Because there's this big light shining on everybody. Probably never, since the Industrial Revolution started, has there been such a massive impact on how companies do business and how they use their employees. So in the end, this is all about getting your workforce AI ready. So what's the big deal? What's happening here? I think everyone understands AI is changing workforce, is changing roles. There's so many tools. What are we going to do? There's so much noise out there. Well, the big thing is, and this is where AI certs comes in with tech skills, is, certification. So think about this. Everybody knows that you can learn basically anything you want for free on the internet, right? So what would you do if you're going to go out and you're going to study this AI thing? Well, if you're smart, you're going to go look at case studies, certainly in your own industry. And probably not a bad idea of looking at case studies how AI is being used in other industries, because what's working over here in manufacturing might work in retail or in healthcare. What are you going to do next? Well, you're probably going to go research tools, AI tools that people in your job role are using today. There's a lot of them, right? And every day there's more coming out. But you legit went and studied these, you played around some tools, you are AI ready. Prove it. That's where the certifications come in. That's where AI certs is part of this deal. AI certs is a certification org that provides training through our partners. So everything starts with a certification, a lot of research, job task analysis. Our general manager says, Bill, I would make you cry if you were ever in one of those meetings, because it's boring stuff, right? But it creates a legit proctored exam. And from that comes the training courses. So again, this is kind of a unique thing where I talked about the SQL training. The company had sent a couple of people to get SQL training in the past, or cybersecurity training. Not everyone in the company needs that. Everyone in a company at the very least needs AI literacy, foundational knowledge of what this AI thing is. Then you go into, you know what? In 2026, I can make a very strong argument that everyone should know how to write great prompts. No longer a nice to have skill. That's a need to have skill um, to further your career. And then you get into the specialized training, for executives and other roles. So let's talk a little bit more about, what makes AI certs different. So we used to say we are vendor neutral because, you think of, AWS, Microsoft, they have their own AI courses, right? But that's training about AI on their technology. We are technology, agnostic. We used to say vendor neutral, now we say vendor align. And the big thing that's different about AI certs is it's focused. I actually came out of retirement for this last year. So I always like to say, AI certs courses don't train on AI. They train on how AI impacts specific job roles with a certification. No one else in the world offers that. So they're going last year, we're going wide, 10 different practice areas. You have your essentials, but then you go in, finance, marketing, healthcare. And then we're starting to go deep. Healthcare is a perfect example. For many months, we had our anchor course, AI Plus Healthcare. Now we're going down AI doctor, nurse, healthcare administrator, healthcare assistant, pharmacist. And that's the same thing that's going on in legal finance. And again, think about this. This is how is AI impacting marketers? How is AI impacting doctors? How is AI impacting salespeople? That's the difference here. A typical course, and every course has an instructor-led version and an e-learning version. A typical course, you have a lecture. At some point in that lecture is, all right, let's go look at some case studies that are relevant to your industry. A little bit later, it's like, all right, now let's go play with some AI tools that people in your job role are using today. You're not going to become proficient in a 1 or 5 day class or 6, 8 hours e-learning or 40 hours e-learning. You do get your hands dirty. And the idea is at the end of that training, you go, you know what? I played around with 3, 4 tools. I'm going to go spend more time with that one. So again, the advantage of going on with our courses that learners, and one of the things we always talk about is multimodality. Again, kind of what makes AI certs courses different because people like to learn in different ways, right? So every course you have you can have, on the e-learning, you can watch the video, you can read the ebook. If you're like me, I watched the video with the closed captioning on. There's also 2 audio components, the traditional audio book and then podcasts. Podcasts are super popular. A lot of people are listening to podcasts while they're working out, walking the dog, doing laundry. You get access, regardless how you take the course, instructor-led or e-learning. You get access to the content for a year. And because it's AI, it's going to change, right? So we look at these things quarterly. And if something gets updated, students get an email, go, hey, Bill, we added a new case study or we, put in a new AI tool we think you should take a look at. The other thing from enterprises, why certification is so important is, again, because your entire company needs to get AI ready, you're looking at a significant investment. And so how do we know that we're getting our money's worth? Well, did your people get certified? That's a key component when considering which courses out there is, did my people get certified? Are they AI ready in their job role? just a little idea of how 65% of the courses today are 1 day instructor led, 6 8 hours e-learning. We call those professional tracks. The other part is our 5 day 40-hour e-learning. Used to be, we say those are technical tracks, and a lot of them are technical, but there's also getting into where some of those are mastery. The perfect example is we have a 1 day project management course. We also have a 5 day, which is obviously not technical, so that's more mastery. So there's a wide range of courses that pretty much any company can was able to upskill their employees. And just give you an idea of how things kind of stack up looking from an HR point of view. I always love this slide because here's how things can stack up in different departments. Again, you can make a great case. Everyone should have basic AI literacy. So AI plus for everyone. Everyone should have, learning how to write great prompts. And then the head of every department, we have AI plus executive. And then there's ethics. Again, 10 practice areas today, about 73 courses as we speak. The idea is there'll be around 200 by the end of the year. So again, we'll continue to go wide and then also continue to go deep. And just, for what it's worth, we don't have a list sitting here on the wall of what those next 130 courses are. We have some ideas, but good companies, roll out products based off of feedback. So as you talk to your tech skills folks, say, you know what, we feel like this is a course that could really be used in our industry. Tell them that. They'll tell us. We want that feedback. So again, I mentioned earlier, this is not all going to go away at the end of the year, end of next year. This is going to be ongoing. Everybody needs to have some basic foundational AI literacy, just so you know what this AI thing is, right? Then you get into the role specific stuff. Which teams need training, which teams need, maybe it's better to do some instructor-led training on this and then add on some e-learning a little bit later. And then as you adopt it and as you adapt AI ongoing, there's going to be some specialized training that's going to be needed. And again, we have courses that can cover that. And so the final thing I want to share is, again, I think the secret sauce, our UI. So I mentioned that the different ways to consume the content. So over there on the right-hand side, you'll see video, audio, podcast, and ebook. The video lecture I think everyone's seen that. Everyone's seen an ebook. I can't overemphasize how popular podcasts have become. So, and we also say multi-device. So computer, tablet, phone. You can do the courses on your phone, just logging in. We also have an app that yesterday went over 630,000 downloads. So lots of different ways to consume the content, lots of different platforms on which to do that. Every course also has an AI mentor. So think of it as, a teaching assistant, a homework helper, that people like to learn different ways. You may want to do the first lesson, you want to watch the video, and the next one you want to listen to an audiobook. So that's the feedback that we're getting. It's just so popular that you're not stuck on just one method of learning. The other thing too about the exams as I finish up. So in the old days, you would often take a course, then have to go buy an exam voucher, and then maybe even go someplace else to do the exam, right? Everything is self-contained. The exams are actually built into the course, and there's two. So you get a free retake. So when you take the course, whether it's instructor-led or e-learning, you have access to the content and the exams for a year. So If you take the exam, for the first time right afterwards, and you didn't quite make it, you still have, plenty of time and a free retake to do that. So that's kind of wrapping things up. It's short and sweet. Very excited about our partnership with Tech Skills. And I don't know, Lee, do we have any questions other than to make Bill stop talking because he sounds so bad?
No, no, I think you sound great, Bill. I have not seen any questions come in. We have both the chat open and our Q&A functionality. Got a question coming in here from Mr. Ned Kelly. How can one get started? So I think that's a pretty open question there, and I know that AI Certs has some foundational classes if you want to talk about those, Bill.
Sure. So, one of the cool things is out of those 73 courses, there is a free course called AI Plus Foundations. So, where your typical 1 day, 6 to 8 hour course, this is actually a 3 4 hour course. Has its own legit proctored exam, and it's a great way to just get some really quick, basic, functional AI literacy. It's also a great way to experience the UI and the different ways to learn. So, um, how to get started is, to reach out to your contacts at TechSkill. They get you set up with that. And we see time and time again that, people sign up for that course. They go, cool. Now I want to go do my role specific course. Or, you know what? I need to get the rest of my team involved in these courses.
Wonderfully said. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Bill. Much appreciated. So with your registration for this webinar, you will also get these recorded slides delivered to you. This recorded session will be delivered to you. Plus, you'll receive an email from Tech Skills within the next 24 hours. And I'll even throw in some information in there about that foundations course that Bill was mentioning earlier. Plus, I'll put in some information about how you can get in contact with the Tech Skills representative to either get started on your journey, find out more about those bundles, advance your AI knowledge. We really, what I appreciate about AI certs, you guys have the same mentality as us that traditional training became very expensive, very time consuming. You're losing your staff, you have a lot of out of office time. We're trying to make things cost effective, but still very, packed and loaded with information that is actually knowledgeable and hands on for these people to experience in the real world. So I'm not the professional speaker, obviously, but I think you and I, Bill, can agree that the traditional way of doing things was not really working anymore. So I love the modalities that you guys offer. The podcast is great. As a marketer myself, that AI plus marketing course, it definitely illuminated some things for me. So definitely check us out. Again, techskills.com. We have a whole page dedicated to all of our AI certs, both technical training and role-based training, which will include some of those foundations courses. We have an AI Plus Everyone course, which is a great starting point as well. And like I said, you'll receive an email in the next 24 hours from Tech Skills with this recorded session and some follow-up instructions as well. So with that being said, I haven't seen any other questions come in. Bill, that must mean you did a great job explaining everything. So thank you, everybody, for taking some time out of your Thursday morning or afternoon or wherever you may be to spend some time with us and learn a bit more about AI certs. We will see you guys next time. Thank you again.
Thanks so much for attending.
Bye, guys.